The steady beep of the heart monitor was the first thing I noticed when I regained consciousness. The second was their whispers, hushed voices that thought I couldn't hear them. My husband Christian and my best friend Rachel, standing just feet from my hospital bed, thinking I was still under. My name is Ava, and this is the moment I discovered 15 years of marriage and a lifetime of friendship were nothing but carefully crafted lies. "She'll be out for hours," Rachel whispered, her designer heels clicking softly on the linoleum floor. The doctor said the combination of medications in her system was substantial. I kept my breathing steady, my eyes closed. Years of insomnia had taught me how to fake sleep perfectly. "Did you transfer the last of it?" Christian's voice was low, urgent. "This morning." "Everything's set up exactly like we planned." Rachel's voice carried that smug tone I'd heard her use with competitors, never with me. "The house will be ours by the end of the week." The rustle of clothing, then the wet sound of kissing. My stomach turned, but I remained still. "I can't believe how easy it was," Rachel continued. "All those little drops in her coffee, making her think she was losing her mind. The way she kept apologizing for being scattered at work." She laughed softly. "God, she actually thanked me for taking over her clients." "You were brilliant, baby." Christian's voice dripped with pride. "The way you convinced her to sign over power of attorney when she thought she was having anxiety attacks." My mind raced through the past 6 months. The mysterious dizzy spells, the confusion, the lost time. Rachel bringing me tea every morning at the office, insisting it would help. Christian suggesting I see a psychiatrist, one he'd apparently chosen. "Poor, trusting Ava," Rachel sighed. Always so desperate to prove she wasn't damaged goods like her mother said. So eager to believe someone could actually love her. A nurse's voice called from the hallway. "Mr. Gonzalez, we need your signature on some forms." "Coming," Christian replied. To Rachel he murmured, "Wait here, watch her. If she wakes up, stick to the story. She had another episode. We're just worried about her." His footsteps faded. Rachel's perfume, the one I'd bought her for Christmas, wafted closer. I felt her lean over me. "You know what's funny?" she whispered, more to herself than to me. "I always hated how perfect you tried to be. Your perfect house, your perfect business, your perfect marriage. But you made it so easy to take it all away, because you trusted me completely." She patted my hand. "Sweet dreams, bestie. When you wake up, you'll have nothing left." I wanted to leap up to wrap my hands around her throat. Instead, I let a small moan escape, shifting slightly as if in troubled sleep. Rachel quickly stepped back. When Christian returned, they spoke in whispers about meeting later at my house, their house now, apparently, about how they'd celebrate once I was safely away getting treatment. After they left, I waited 5 full minutes before opening my eyes. The hospital room was bright, sterile, mockingly normal. On the side table sat a glass of water Rachel had poured earlier, probably containing God knows what they'd been drugging me with. I picked up my phone, which they'd left charging beside me. With trembling fingers, I opened my banking app. Account after account, drained. Investment portfolios, transferred. My business account, empty except for petty cash. A text from Rachel lit up my screen. "Hope you're feeling better soon. Don't worry about anything. Just focus on getting well. Love you." I stared at that heart emoji until my vision blurred. Then I did something that would have shocked them both, had they been there to see it. I smiled, because what Rachel and Christian didn't know, what no one knew, was that I'd learned one thing growing up with a mother who abandoned me repeatedly. Never trust completely. Never keep all your resources in one place. And never, ever let anyone see your full hand until you're ready to play it. They thought they'd written the ending to my story. But I was about to show them it was only the beginning. Getting discharged from the hospital was a masterclass in acting. I played the confused, fragile wife perfectly, letting Christian guide me to his car while Rachel followed in hers, probably to make sure I didn't go home. "You should stay with your mother for a while," Christian suggested. his hand on my knee feeling like a snake's scales. "Just until you're better." I turned to him with wide, trusting eyes. "Could I stay with Rachel instead? Mom and I, you know how she is." His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. "Rachel's renovating, remember? No space." Of course. They needed their love nest clear of inconvenient wives. He dropped me at a hotel, insisting I rest while he handled everything. The moment his car disappeared, I called a rideshare and headed to Rachel's house. Time to see how well my best friend could lie to my face. Rachel answered her door in yoga pants, surprise flickering across her features before settling into concerned friend mode. "Ava, sweetie, what are you doing here? You should be resting." I let my voice crack. "I need my best friend right now. Everything's so confusing, and you're the only one I can trust." Her smile tightened. "Oh, honey." She didn't invite me in. "You know I'd do anything for you, but with the renovations, please." I peered past her. The house looked exactly the same as last week. No construction, no workers, not even a paint can in sight. "I'm sorry, it's just impossible right now." She touched my arm. "But hey, why don't we get coffee tomorrow? We can talk about everything." "Everything's?" I met her eyes. "Like why my accounts are empty?" Her hand dropped. "What?" "Or maybe about what you've been putting in my tea for the past 6 months." Colour drained from her face. "Ava, you're not making sense. This is exactly why you need help." "Help?" I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make her flinch. "Like the kind of help you and Christian have been giving me. I don't know what you think you heard at the hospital, but save it." I stepped closer, watching her retreat slightly. "You know what's funny, Rachel? You spent so much time planning how to take everything from me, you forgot one crucial detail." "What's that?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm not as stupid as you think I am." I turned and walked away, her stammered explanations fading behind me. At the corner, I pulled out my phone and sent a single text to a number I hadn't used in years. "Olive, it's your sister. We need to talk." Back at the hotel, I opened my laptop and accessed the email account I'd created years ago, one Christian knew nothing about. Then I pulled an old brass clock from my bag, a gift from my father before he died. The back panel held more than gears. It held my insurance policy. 3 things fell into my lap: a USB drive, a second set of house keys, and a business card for Blake Williams, the quietest, most thorough real estate attorney in the city. My phone buzzed. A text from Olive. "Didn't think I'd hear from you again. Must be desperate." I typed back, "Desperate enough to make it worth your while." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, tomorrow, 2 p.m. That dive bar on 12th where Dad used to drink. Come alone? Perfect. I powered up the USB drive, revealing years of carefully documented account statements, property deeds, and power of attorney documents, all updated and notarized regularly without Christian's knowledge. My phone buzzed again. "Rachel." "Ava, please let me explain. You're not thinking clearly." I smiled, remembering her words at the hospital. "Sweet dreams, bestie. When you wake up, you'll have nothing left." But that's where she was wrong. I had the 3 things that mattered most: documentation, determination, and absolutely nothing left to lose. I texted Blake, "Remember that conversation we had last year about worst-case scenarios? It's time." His response was immediate. "Office, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bring everything." I lay back on the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling. Rachel and Christian thought they'd written my ending. But they'd forgotten the most important rule about endings. They're just new beginnings in disguise. And this beginning? It would be their worst nightmare. Blake's office hadn't changed in the decade I'd known him. Same leather chairs, same wall of law books, same calm demeanour as he reviewed the documents spread across his desk. "You've been planning for this," he said, not a question. "Not this exactly." I watched him sort through the papers. Just something. "Call it intuition." He held up the power of attorney documents. "These are brilliant. Dated 2 years ago, giving you full control of the business assets. Christian's signature looks genuine. It is. He was in such a hurry to leave for his golf trip, he didn't read what he was signing. Blake's lips twitched. And the house deed? Hidden in plain sight. He thought it was just routine paperwork for the renovation last spring. The door opened, and Blake's assistant brought in coffee. As she left, Blake leaned forward. Ava, what exactly do you want here? Revenge? Money? Both? I want them to understand what it feels like to lose everything. I sipped my coffee. Starting with my house. They're living there now. Moving in as we speak. Rachel's probably choosing which of my closets she wants. Blake pulled up something on his computer. According to this, they've already transferred most of your joint accounts, but he smiled slightly. They missed a few things? Like what? Like the fact that your business was never actually merged with your husband's, despite what he told his partners, and the fact that Rachel's been embezzling from client accounts, not very carefully, I might add. My phone buzzed. A text from Christian. Where are you? Your mother says you never showed up. They're getting nervous, I said, showing Blake the message. Good. He started typing. Give me 2 hours. I'll have the eviction papers ready. But Ava, he looked up. This will get ugly. It already is. I left Blake's office and headed to meet Olive. The dive bar was exactly as I remembered. Dark, smoky, smelling of stale beer and bad decisions. My half-sister sat in a corner booth, looking more like our father than ever. Well, well, she drawled as I sat down. The perfect sister needs help from the family fuck-up. Dad would love this. I need your connections, Olive, not your commentary. She laughed, harsh and familiar. Finally, something real from you. What do you need? Information. On Rachel Campbell, the kind that doesn't show up in official records. Olive's eyes narrowed. The best friend who's screwing your husband? News travels fast. In certain circles. She stirred her drink. What's in it for me? I pulled out an envelope. 20,000. Half now, half when you deliver. 30? 25. She grinned. Deal. But I want something else too. What? The truth about why you cut me off after Dad died. I felt the old anger rise. You know why. I know what you think happened. But you're wrong. She leaned forward. Help me clear my name, and I'll help you destroy theirs. My phone buzzed again. A message from Rachel. Ava, please come home. We're all so worried. Home. Like she had any right to call it that. Fine, I told Olive. But this better be good. Oh, sister. Her smile was pure venom. Wait till you see what your bestie's been hiding. Back at my father's cabin, my secret refuge these past 2 days, I received an email from Blake. Attached were copies of the eviction notice, restraining orders, and documentation of Rachel's financial misconduct. I opened my laptop and accessed the house's security cameras. Another system Christian never bothered to understand. There they were, in my kitchen, drinking my wine, sitting on my couch. Rachel was wearing my robe. When do you think she'll surface? Rachel asked, curled against Christian. Soon. She has nowhere else to go. I closed the laptop, smiling. They thought I was hiding, broken and defeated. But I was just getting started. My phone lit up with a text from Blake. Papers are filed. Want to make it interesting? I texted back. What did you have in mind? His response. Tomorrow's the annual Client Appreciation Gala. Everyone who's anyone will be there, including them. Perfect. Because nothing says, I'm not defeated, like showing up at a black tie event while your world burns down. Let the games begin. The gala buzzed with nervous energy when I walked in. Heads turned, conversations stopped, and I caught at least 3 people checking their phones, no doubt messaging Rachel and Christian about my arrival. I wore red. Not just any red, the exact shade of the dress Rachel had tried to buy last month but couldn't afford. The one she'd complained about for weeks. Petty? Perhaps. Effective? Absolutely. Well, don't you clean up nice for someone who's supposed to be having a breakdown? Olive appeared beside me, champagne in hand. Your bestie just ran to the bathroom. Looked a little green. What did you find? Olive's eyes sparkled. Remember that charity Rachel ran 3 years ago? The one for sick kids? The fundraiser that got cancelled last minute. Turns out the money didn't get cancelled, just redirected to a very nice vacation home in Aspen. Olive sipped her champagne. Under her mother's maiden name. Can you prove it? Every transfer, every document. Even got photos of her there last winter when she told you she was at a business conference. The bathroom door opened. Rachel emerged, face pale, clutching her phone. She saw me and froze. Watch this, I murmured to Olive, then walked straight toward Rachel. Ava! Rachel's voice was too high. I've been so worried. We all have. Have you? I smiled, noting how she stepped back. That must be why you're wearing my mother's bracelet. The one that was in my jewellery box. She touched the diamond tennis bracelet reflexively. You said I could borrow it. Did I? Must have been during one of my episodes. I stepped closer. How's the house? Comfortable? Ava, please, let's talk somewhere private. Why? Afraid someone might overhear something interesting? I raised my voice slightly. Like, what happened to the Children's Cancer Fund? The colour drained from her face. Behind her, I saw Christian approaching, his usual swagger faltering when he saw me. Everything okay here? He asked, placing his hand on Rachel's waist. Perfect, I replied. I was just asking Rachel about Aspen. Beautiful this time of year, isn't it? Rachel's grip on her phone tightened. I don't know what you're talking about. No? I pulled out my phone, pulled up a photo Olive had sent. That's not you at the Silver Pine Lodge last December. When you told me you were in Seattle. Christian turned to Rachel. What's she talking about? Nothing. She's confused, remember? The doctor said. The doctors you chose? I interrupted. The ones who prescribed medications that conveniently matched what you were slipping into my tea. Heads were turning now. Whispers rippled through the crowd. You're making a scene, Christian hissed. No, I'm making an entrance. The scene comes tomorrow when the forensic accountant's report hits the news. Rachel grabbed my arm. Please, whatever you think you know, take your hand off me, I said quietly, or I'll tell everyone here exactly how much money you stole from sick children. She dropped her hand like she'd been burned. Christian's face had turned an interesting shade of grey. You can't prove anything, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. Can't I? I smiled. Check your email, both of you. Blake sent something interesting about 10 minutes ago. They pulled out their phones. I watched their faces as they read the legal notices, the documentation, the photographs. You can't do this, Rachel whispered. Actually, I can. And I am. I turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Rachel? The bracelet goes back in my jewellery box by noon tomorrow, or I add theft to the police report. I walked away, feeling their stares burning into my back. Olive fell into step beside me. That was beautiful, she said. But you know they won't go quietly. Counting on it. I handed her a thumb drive. Which is why you're going to leak these documents to that blogger you know? The one who loves exposing corporate fraud? Olive grinned. You really aren't the perfect sister anymore, are you? No, I said, watching Rachel flee the gala in tears, Christian chasing after her. I'm much better than that now. Behind us, the whispers grew louder. Phones buzzed with messages, and the first domino of Rachel and Christian's carefully constructed life began to fall. The blog post went viral by morning. Socialite steals from sick children, screamed the headlines, accompanied by photos of Rachel lounging at her secret Aspen getaway. The comments section was a bloodbath. I watched the chaos unfold from Blake's office while he handled calls from reporters. Rachel's on line 3, his assistant called. Again. Still not taking her calls, Blake replied, then turned to me. You should see this. He pulled up a security feed of my house. Rachel and Christian were arguing in the kitchen. My kitchen, their gestures becoming more frantic by the minute. Turn up the audio, I said. Your fault. Rachel's voice crackled through the speakers. You said the money transfers couldn't be traced. My fault. Christian slammed his hand on the counter. Who bought a whole damn house without telling me, with stolen money? Like you're any better. At least I didn't drug my spouse. That was your idea. Just a few drops, you said. Make her doubt herself, you said. I smiled. They're turning on each other right on schedule. Blake muted the feed. Ava, there's something else you should know. Someone's been asking questions about your mother's bracelet. What kind of questions? The kind that involve insurance fraud. Seems Rachel tried to claim it was stolen last month, before she took it from your house. I laughed. She never was good at planning ahead. My phone buzzed. A text from Olive. Found something bigger. Meet me. Now. The dive bar was emptier than usual for midday. Olive sat at the bar, talking to a man I recognised but couldn't place. Ava, you remember Finnegan? Olive gestured to the man. Rachel's ex from college? Memory clicked. The one she ghosted after graduation? Finnegan turned, and I saw the same quiet anger I felt reflected in his eyes. The one she ghosted after stealing my thesis research and presenting it as her own. Which she then used to land her first job, Olive added. The job that started her whole career. I sat down. Tell me everything. An hour later, I had copies of the original thesis, emails proving Rachel's theft, and Finnegan's promise to go public with the story. Why now? I asked him. Because she deserves to lose everything, he said simply. Just like she made me lose everything back then. Back at the cabin, I checked the house cameras again. Rachel was alone now, pacing, making frantic phone calls. Christian was gone. My phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. It's Christian. We need to talk. No, we don't. I'll tell everyone you knew about Rachel's fraud, that you helped cover it up. I smiled, typing back. Go ahead. Then I'll release the video of you admitting you drugged me. The one from the hospital, remember? No response. Another text, this time from Rachel. Please, I'm begging you, stop this. I sent back a single photo. Her, in Aspen, holding up a champagne glass. The caption she'd posted, living my best life with stolen money. Chio, blessed. That's photoshopped, she replied immediately. Is it? Should we ask the hotel staff? Or maybe the real estate agent who helped you buy the house? Silence. I switched back to the security feed. Rachel was crying now, mascara running down her face as she poured herself another glass of my wine. My phone buzzed again. Blake. Court date set for tomorrow. 9 a.m. Ready to take back your house? More than ready. Good. Because Rachel just tried to transfer more money out of the business accounts. Unsuccessfully, of course. I watched her through the cameras. This woman who had been my best friend since college. Who had held my hand at my father's funeral. Who had helped plan my wedding to the man she was now sleeping with. She looked up suddenly, as if sensing she was being watched. Her eyes darted around the room. Hello? She called out, voice shaking. Is someone there? I touched the screen, almost pitying her. Almost. Sweet dreams, bestie, I whispered to the empty room. When you wake up, you'll have nothing left. Tomorrow would be the final act. And unlike Rachel, I knew exactly how to stick the landing. The courtroom fell silent as I walked in. Rachel and Christian sat on opposite sides of their table, not looking at each other. Their lawyers whispered urgently in their ears. Blake touched my arm. Ready? Born ready. The judge entered, and everyone rose. As we sat, I caught Rachel staring at me, her designer outfit wrinkled like she'd slept in it. Christian kept checking his phone, his knee bouncing nervously. Your Honour, Blake began, my client has documentation proving fraudulent transfer of assets, medical manipulation, and corporate theft. Rachel's lawyer stood. Your Honour, these accusations are baseless. Ms. Rachel was legally given power of attorney. Was she? Blake pulled out a document. Because this power of attorney form shows clear signs of forgery. Our handwriting expert's report is quite detailed. Christian's head snapped up. Rachel's face went white. Furthermore, Blake continued, we have evidence of deliberate poisoning. Objection. Rachel's lawyer shouted. "These are criminal accusations." "Which have already been filed with the police," Blake replied smoothly, "along with the hospital records showing unusual drug combinations in my client's system, drugs that, interestingly, match prescriptions filled by Ms. Rachel under various names." The judge leaned forward. "Is this true, Ms. Rachel?" Rachel stood, trembling. "Your Honor, I can explain—" "She can't explain anything," Christian interrupted. "She's been lying to everyone, including me. I had no idea about the drugs or the stolen money." "Liar!" Rachel whirled on him. "It was your idea to get her out of the way. You said once she was gone, we could—" "Enough!" The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. "Mr. Blake, continue." Blake projected something onto the courtroom screen. Bank statements, transfer records, property deeds. "As you can see, Your Honor, my client's signature was forged on multiple documents. However," he smiled slightly, "the original deeds and contracts remain valid, including this one." He highlighted a document. Rachel gasped audibly. "This pre-nuptial agreement, updated annually and properly notarized, gives my client full ownership of all business assets and properties in case of marriage dissolution due to infidelity or criminal activity. We have evidence of both." Christian jumped up. "That's impossible. I never signed." "But you did," I spoke for the first time. "Every year on our anniversary. You just thought you were signing greeting cards." The colour drained from his face as he remembered all those fancy dinners, all those cards I'd asked him to sign, while he was distracted by expensive wine. "Your Honour," Blake continued, "we request immediate evacuation of the property and freezing of all remaining assets." The judge reviewed the documents, then looked at Rachel and Christian's lawyers. "Any objections?" Their silence was deafening. "Very well." The judge signed the order. "The property is to be vacated by 5 p.m. today. All assets will remain frozen pending criminal investigation." Rachel burst into tears. Christian stormed out, leaving his lawyer calling after him. As we left the courtroom, Rachel grabbed my arm. "Ava, please! Where am I supposed to go?" I looked at her tear-stained face, remembering all the times I'd trusted those eyes. "You could try Aspen. I hear it's lovely this time of year." "I'll tell everyone what you did," she hissed, desperation replacing tears. "How you trapped us, manipulated us." "Go ahead," I smiled. "Tell them how I outsmarted the people who tried to destroy me. I'm sure it'll make a fascinating story." Outside, reporters waited with cameras. Rachel tried to hide her face, but Finnegan was already there, telling his story to anyone who would listen. "Is it true you stole research to start your career?" One reporter called to Rachel. "Did you really embezzle from a children's charity?" asked another. I walked past them all, head high, Blake beside me. "The police will want to talk to you," he said quietly. "Let them. I have nothing to hide anymore." My phone buzzed. A text from Olive. "Turn on the news. Christian just crashed his car trying to flee town. He's fine, but they found some interesting things in his trunk." I showed Blake the message. He laughed. "Karma works fast these days." "No," I replied, watching Rachel being cornered by reporters. "Karma just needed a little help getting started." I headed to my car, ready to reclaim my house. Behind me, I heard Rachel's voice rise in hysteria. "Ava! You can't do this to me. I was your best friend." Was. Past tense. Just like her perfect life. Standing in my driveway at exactly 5 p.m., I watched the police escort Rachel from my house. She carried a designer suitcase in one hand and what looked like one of my vintage handbags in the other. "That's not yours," I called out. The officer stopped. Rachel's face crumpled. "It was a gift," she tried. "From who? Yourself?" I held out my hand. "Hand it over." She threw it at my feet instead, mascara running down her cheeks. "Happy now? You've taken everything else." "Not quite everything." I nodded to the officer. "Check her pockets." Rachel fought, but the officer's search revealed 3 pieces of my mother's jewellery and a rolled-up stack of cash from my emergency drawer. "That's theft," the officer said, pulling out handcuffs. "No, please," Rachel sobbed. Ava, don't do this. We've been friends for 20 years. Friends don't poison friends, Rachel. As they led her to the patrol car, my phone buzzed. A news alert. Local businessman arrested, drug possession and conspiracy charges. Below was Christian's mugshot, his perfect hair dishevelled, his smirk finally gone. Olive appeared beside me, watching Rachel's patrol car disappear. Found something interesting in your house. Might want to see this. She led me to my home office. The safe behind my father's portrait was open, the one only Christian and I knew about. They tried to crack it, Olive said, but missed the real prize. She reached higher, pressing a hidden panel above the portrait. A second, smaller safe clicked open. Inside was a letter in my father's handwriting, dated just before his death. As I read it, my hands began to shake. He knew, I whispered. About what? About Mom, about why she left. I handed Olive the letter. She didn't abandon us. She was running from him. Olive read quickly, her face hardening. He threatened to take us away if she didn't leave, made her look unstable so no one would believe her. She looked up. That's why she never fought for custody. I need to see her. My mother's apartment was small but neat. When she opened the door, she looked older than her 61 years. I wondered when you'd find that letter, she said simply. Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me? She stepped aside, letting me in. You were so angry, so hurt, and he made sure everyone thought I was crazy, like Rachel and Christian tried to do to me. History repeats. She poured 2 cups of tea. But you were smarter than I was. You fought back. I had help. I touched her hand. I should have had yours. Her eyes filled with tears. We can't change the past, Ava. No, but we can fix the future. Back home, Blake waited with more news. Christian's partners are suing him. Seems he was skimming from their accounts too. Of course he was. I walked through my house, noting what was missing, what was damaged. What about Rachel's charity fraud? Police are investigating. Her other clients are coming forward too. Apparently, we weren't the only ones she stole from. My phone lit up with a message from an unknown number. A video link. When I clicked it, security footage from the hospital played. Rachel and Christian kissing by my bed, discussing their plans, admitting to poisoning me. Anonymous tip, Olive said, grinning. Thought the police might find it interesting. I forwarded the video to Blake. Make it public. All of it? Every second. I stood at my window, watching the sunset over my garden. Let everyone see exactly who they really are. That night, alone in my house for the first time in weeks, I opened a bottle of wine, checking it carefully first, and raised a glass to my reflection. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Rachel, probably from the police station. I hope you're happy. You've ruined everything. I typed back. No, Rachel, you did that all by yourself. I just made sure everyone knew about it. Then I blocked her number, turned off my phone, and slept in my own bed, in my own house, surrounded by the silence of victory. Tomorrow I would start rebuilding. But tonight was for savouring the sweet taste of justice, served cold. The doorbell chimed as I finished arranging fresh flowers in my restored living room. Through the security camera, I saw Rachel standing on my porch, looking nothing like her former polished self. I opened the door but kept the security chain in place. You're violating your restraining order. Please, her voice cracked. 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking. Why should I? Because I'm about to go to prison, and I need you to understand that you're sorry, that you didn't mean it. I laughed. Save it for the judge. No, she met my eyes. I need you to understand that you won this. Completely. The house, the money, the reputation, it's all yours. She swallowed hard. I'm done fighting. Behind her, I noticed Olive approaching up the walkway, carrying files. You're right about one thing, I said. I did win, but not because of the house or money. Then why? Because I learned who my real friends are. I nodded toward Olive. And who they aren't. Rachel turned, saw Olive, and her face fell further. The police have your thesis, she said quietly. Finnegan's evidence. They're adding academic fraud to my charges. Good. I started to close the door. Wait. She pressed her hand against it. There's something else you should know, about Christian. Save your breath, Olive interrupted, reaching us. The DA already knows he tried to hire someone to scare Ava. Unfortunately for him, he approached my contact wearing a wire. Rachel's hand dropped. I didn't know about that. There's a lot you didn't know, I said. Like how many security cameras were in my house. Or how many people were watching you both self-destruct. Speaking of watching, Olive held up her phone. Smile for the parole board. Rachel fled, stumbling in her knock-off heels. We watched her hurry to a waiting car, not the luxury vehicle she once drove, but a tired-looking sedan. That was almost too easy, Olive said as we went inside. She's not done, I replied. But neither am I. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Blake, carrying champagne, followed by my mother. Celebrating? I asked. The DA just called, Blake said, grinning. Christian took a plea deal. He's testifying against everyone. Rachel, his business partners, even the doctor who helped them drug you. How many years? Olive asked. Enough. He popped the champagne. And, with the civil suits pending, they'll both be paying restitution for decades. My mother touched my arm. Are you okay? Better than okay. I handed her a glass. I'm free. We moved to the patio, where the evening sun painted everything gold. My garden, once Rachel's pride to show off at parties, now bloomed wild and natural. What's next? Blake asked, settling into a chair. I'm selling the house, I said. They all turned to look at me. But you fought so hard, Olive started. I fought to prove I could get it back, but I don't need it anymore. I sipped my champagne. Some things aren't worth keeping, no matter how expensive they are. Like fake friends? My mother asked softly. Like anything that chains you to the past? My phone buzzed. A news alert showing Rachel being escorted into court. Christian in prison orange. Their perfect lives perfectly destroyed. To karma, Olive raised her glass. To family, my mother added. To truth, Blake offered. I looked at them. My half-sister who became whole, my mother who came home, my friend who stayed true, and raised my own glass. To starting over, I said. On our own terms. Later, as everyone left, Blake lingered. You never needed any of us, you know. You would have won anyway. Maybe, I smiled. But winning means more when you have people to celebrate with. He touched my hand briefly, then left. I stood in my doorway, watching the sunset paint my garden in shades of victory. Tomorrow I would list the house, close old accounts, open new ones. But tonight belonged to this moment, standing in a home that was truly mine, surrounded by people who had earned their place in my life. I had lost a husband and a best friend, but I had gained something better, myself, and that was worth everything.